Welcome back to the Loan Lads. Today's episode 7. We're going to be going over the day in the life of a loan officer.
Again, Park Place Finance is a nationwide hard money lender focusing on fix and flips, ground up construction and DSCR loans. Today we've got a special guest, Mr. Caleb Baker. He's one of our top producing AEs at Park Place. So we kind of want to go over his story today, kind of what a day in the life looks like as a top producer at Park Place Finance. So Caleb, go introduce yourself.
Yeah, I'm Caleb. I'm a senior account executive here at Park Place Finance. I really was drawn to this role because I always wanted to be in real estate. I wanted to be in finance, but I also wanted to incorporate sales. And I felt like this position, being a hard money loan officer, was a perfect mix of all three and allows me to really hone in on my education, which was finance, but also incorporate some sales ability and just develop as a professional. You guys know me, but the viewers don't know me. I went to the University of Missouri, graduated about 2 years ago, moved down here a year and a half ago to Austin, and got started in hard money. I felt like it was a perfect outlet for me to kind of pursue my passion of real estate, but also kind of instill my education in finance, and then I can also incorporate, my natural sales ability, which is it's very beneficial in this role, as at the end of the day, being a loan officer is being a salesman. So I just felt like this was a perfect fit for me.
Awesome. What was the main reason that you moved down to Austin? What drew you to Austin?
I moved to Austin to work at Park Place Finance. So,
nice.
Yeah. And it's all worked out.
So how did you get put in contact with Park Place? Did you just see us on LinkedIn? Did you have some buddies that work there?
Well,
give us a bit of background on
Yeah, I had a friend that worked here for Park Place Finance. Mm-hmm. And again, I knew that I wanted to be in real estate, finance, and sales. And so this was just a perfect mix of the three. And so I reached out to him. We got in contact. And then I researched the company more on LinkedIn.
Yeah.
And then was able to, really learn about the company. I looked at a lot of the employees and decided that this is something I want to pursue.
Awesome. So. Did you, me and Connor have talked about in previous episodes, hard money has a preconceived idea what a lot of people think hard money is. Do you think from looking online and doing some research and hearing what the guys had to say to actually coming into the business, what do you think was the biggest difference than what you initially thought the kind of work life would be at Park Place?
Yeah, so I guess, I didn't even have the best idea of what hard money was before I even started pursuing the role. So I didn't really go into it with a preconceived notion, but I did learn pretty quickly that, it's very investor oriented. So you're 90% of your day, you're going to be talking to real estate investors and getting to not only learn from them, but benefit them by offering financing for any of their investment projects. So that was very exciting for me, just knowing that I get to be, intertwined and working daily with these people who are so successful. I eventually want to be a real estate investor myself, so getting to network with these guys and help these guys out is just a great opportunity.
Yeah. Knowing that you've worked your way up in the company, obviously you're one of our team leads now. You started as a BDR for the company. What have you learned most kind of coming into the industry between your first day and now?
Yeah, I think it's like with any role, it's just kind of you have to keep your head down and grind and be a sponge. So you want to ask as many questions as possible. You're surrounded by great people, luckily at Park Place. And you just want to learn.
Yeah. What would you say, you found as the key to growing your business and finding these investors to have faith and trust in you as their loan officer?
It's just constant outreach, and then I would say confidence is a huge key. And then third, I would say, is consistency. So, don't just call a guy once, call him 2-3 times a quarter, and eventually he's going to have business for you. And they're going to appreciate that too. Just having, you stay consistent, consistently reaching out, consistently explaining what we do here at Park Place. And eventually if you keep chopping at that tree, it'll fall and they'll bring you business and a partnership.
Yeah. I think another key piece to that both of you guys do is building those relationships with the brokers. You got to build a relationship on a personal level. I feel like if you're just offering a service, they don't really have that trust instilled in you. You got to be able to build a relationship on a personal level. I think both of you guys do that well, but let's touch on that a little bit. Like, what do you think it takes to build a relationship like that?
Yeah, for sure. It's like any sales, right? Everybody has the same product. There's little nuances and differences, but at the end of the day, the product is money. That's really what we are selling. But the main thing is we should be selling a relationship, right? And the relationship, we spoke about it time and time again of how important that is to have a long-term relationship with your lender, and have that loan officer actually pick up the phone, make sure that you are being taken care of. That's really the difference between good service and bad service. And from what we do as a service-based industry, right, that's the biggest thing that we have to offer, and we have to elevate ourselves against our competition, is that service through just being available, having good relationships with the clients, and actually trying to get more on a personal level to where it's not just talking about product and help. We really try and instill to these guys that, look, we do have the best interest at heart for you as an investor, because at the end of the day, us as a lender are putting up the capital as well for the same project that you are putting up any down payment capital for. So we need to believe in the project just as much as you need to believe in the project. So, really being straight up with the clients as well and telling them, hey, maybe this isn't a good deal for you, maybe this is a good deal for you, and the client listening to that. That's what sets top producers apart from your middle tier or lower producers, because the middle and lower, all they're doing is just trying to push product, which is really not the whole point of being a loan officer. The whole point of it is to help your clients through the full sales cycle.
Right. Caleb, going back to last month, you closed 25 loans. For most people in this industry, 25 loans is a lot. It's almost one deal a day for an entire month. Kind of walk us through how do you manage that, and how do you have clients that make sure that they trust you? Obviously, you've got a lot of loans working. If I'm a new client, how do I know that you'll also take care of my loan as well?
I think it all comes down to consistent communication. So, if I am working alone with someone, I'm going to be on the phone with them every single day. I'm going to be on the phone with everyone involved in the process every single day. So whether that comes to insurance reps, title companies, appraisers, and even my own underwriters, it's just, it's all a synergy. And you kind of have to make sure that you're distributing your focus equally amongst every party involved.
Yeah, I think it's good to mention too, like, every team that we have in the office has a team built around them, right? So you guys have LOAs, you guys have processors. So we really ensure that you guys have a big team behind you to kind of help get those deals pushed through. I think that's what a lot of clients don't understand. It's not a one-man operation. You've got a whole team behind you, whether that's a processor, LOA, you've got a team of underwriters, you've got other people in sales that are willing to help, and you guys have your BDRs as well that are underneath you. That's all kind of that synergy that you mentioned.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I think that's a good thing to touch on too, is just how much support we have. So, you're never really alone working through a deal. Like, that you have your processor, your loan officering assistant, your BDRs under you. So it's just a good environment, and there's a lot of support.
Yeah. What would you say is lucrative for a BDR to come in? Like, what is a BDR? Let's hit on that really quick.
Yeah, so BDR is a business development representative, and they're kind of like a junior loan officer, you could say. So basically what that looks like, a day in the life for a BDR, would primarily be outreach and just consistently prospecting clients. That's going to be like a 3-month period, and once you complete that, you should have like a good book of business built up, and then at that point you're going to want to move to an account executive, which is essentially just a loan officer, and then that's when you can start making some good money, and you'll have your book of business built from the times that you were grinding as a BDR. And yeah.
Well, what makes y'all excited on a day-to-day? Let's go through that. What gets you up in the morning, Joe? What makes you excited coming into the office?
Yeah, for sure. There's a multitude of things that get me excited for the day. First of all, Caleb touched on it, the guys in the office and the gals in the office. It's a great environment to be in. I grew up playing sports. Soccer was football, soccer, whatever, whoever's listening, I've got to be correct in what I'm saying. Soccer, so really I was surrounded by competition throughout my life, and that's what really drives me as an individual, is competition. And we get that with really any sales job that you're in, where you're in a team environment with a lot of sales staff on a one floor where there is a leaderboard at the end of the day. And that's what gets me excited, right? Being able to compete to get higher on the leaderboard, which in turn is facilitating more clients and helping more people actually move forward in their real estate investment journeys. But then also on the flip side is actually being able to help people. The product that we're selling, or not even selling, the product that we're servicing, facilitating, right? It's a product that people need, and it's a product that actually really helps these investors build their investment portfolios or, facilitate their real estate transactions, right? So that's really exciting to me because it's a beneficial product that we have and service that we have. And then lastly, I just enjoy speaking to people. So being able to get up and talk to many different people from many different backgrounds that have a different scenario every time I pick up the phone, that's what makes it exciting and fun. It's not the same monotonous task that you're doing every day. So all those things combined, really, it just turns out to be one of the perfect roles that I kind of fell on my feet into.
What about you?
Yeah, I would completely agree. Especially on the competitive aspect of it. I know that a lot of us played sports when growing up, and kind of being in that environment where you're surrounded by a bunch of like-minded individuals who are motivated and hungry to make money. And then at the end of the day, we're spending however many hours a week with these guys, and we all are best friends. So you're not only competing against your best friends, but you're finding success with your best friends, and that really drives me every day. And just I love the leadership aspect of being a team lead. The team lead aspect of it is great. I love leading a team. I like teaching these guys how to be successful and just chase development as a professional. And
yeah, I think one thing too that you guys didn't necessarily touch on yet, but in the real estate space, doesn't matter what role you're in, whether you're a real estate agent, you're a loan officer, maybe you're a title rep, right? There's so many different avenues, builders, developers. You have to love the game. It's a space that a lot of people get in and they fall out fast because it's a fast moving industry, but also on top of that, it's dreadful sometimes. There's people who can go months without making a check, right? And so I think you really have to love the game in order to be successful. And falling in love with that side of the business allows you to every time somebody gives you a call about a deal, I think that's the excitement. It's that's the new thing that you get to look at and okay, where's this property at? What are the comps? What is this thing going to be worth whenever they do these renovations, or what is it going to be worth when the build's complete? Being excited about that, I think, is what wakes me up. It's it's a new call every day, and you're probably going to talk about 6 different markets within one day.
It's a puzzle you have to figure out every time.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's a great point. You definitely got to love the game because the real estate is brutal sometimes.
Yeah.
You can spend, it's happened time and time again, right, where we've spent months, well, maybe not months because our cycle's pretty quick, but days, all right, maybe a week, right, you spent on a deal, and we've all been in that situation. We get it through underwriting, and then last thing comes up, something comes up on title that was not there before, right, which implodes the deal. You've just spent, a full week grinding, making sure you're servicing your clients, making sure you push that deal from start to finish, and then the deal can fall apart, right? And that's with anything in the real estate industry. Even as a realtor, it happens all the time. So you really got to love the process and the journey, and then those deals will happen, right?
Gotta love the process, and then you kind of get the reward at the end whenever it does go through.
Yeah, and then you got to be a problem solver. Like Joe said, there's problems that can come up, and the really good loan officers in the industry and real estate agents and builders, developers, they know how to solve the problems, and they will identify what that problem is, and maybe it comes up last minute, like Joe said, that's kind of unprovoked, or you didn't know it was going to be there. You have to be able to solve that to get it to the finish line for the client. I think that's another exciting piece of the business, is being able to understand that you have those skills to do so.
So I think really anybody getting into the lending space or any job role in particular, they should look at three things, right? First thing is, what are your God-given talents? So for us, it's the ability to problem solve, it's the ability to make relationships. And then what we're doing, we're pairing that with our passion, which is real estate, which we do on a daily basis. And then number three is the service that you do from these two things. So for me, that's the trifecta of why I find myself in this role and why this role is gives me purpose at the end of the day. And I know for you guys it does as well.
Caleb, let's touch on a couple of highlights that you've kind of had over the last year in the industry.
Well, I would say my biggest highlight, it's kind of funny, I don't know how well you guys remember this, but when us three went to Tampa, so basically, I'd been prospecting with this investor and broker for months and months and months, and then we had a conference opportunity in Tampa, and that's where the investor was located. So, we had the opportunity to fly out to Tampa. We got to get dinner and drinks with these investors, and it was, a huge learning experience for me and probably you guys as well. Not only that, but it strengthened the relationship. And now this is a borrower, an investor, and then a broker that I talk to on a weekly basis, and I would consider a friend now. That's
we've
done a lot of business with each other.
We've closed like 2 loans with them, right?
Yeah.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, I mean that was an awesome trip, and I think we should let everybody know, like, we're not just boring bankers. Like, as Park Place, we really are trying to flip the script on what people have an idea of what banking is and lending is, right? Typically think the grey hairs, stuck in the old school, getting the books out, doing the calculations, right? We are trying to actually flip the script on that, and Tampa was an awesome time. We went out there, closed business, and then also had fun, Yeah. And that's part of it, right? We work hard, we play hard at the end of the day.
You gotta always have a bit of fun.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So let's talk too. You just crossed your biggest month ever. We just touched on it a second ago with units, but volume wise, I think you did roughly 15 million on a single month. Let's touch on, what do you think it takes to be a top producing loan officer in the industry?
It takes consistency, and the biggest piece, which Joe has touched on quite a bit, is the problem-solving ability. Being able to have those conversations with, all the parties involved, whether it be a title company, an appraiser, insurance reps, underwriters, just whatever the case may be, you have to be able to put yourself in their shoes and kind of come to a solution. So I think that's the biggest piece. And then other than that, you have to be prepared to grind, and you have to be prepared to, spend those long hours working the deals to make sure. And that's if you want to be, at the top. And if you want to be at the top, it's going to take long hours. It's going to take consistency. You have to be very analytical, during the processing phase of a deal. So you're not spinning, your wheels on a deal that might not end up going through. You want to catch those things before, it all implodes in your face. And so, yeah, it's just time management, problem-solving ability, and consistency.
Yeah. I would say as well, like, knowledge is a huge part of it.
Definitely, yeah.
Like, to be a top producing AE, you got to know the product back to front, inside out, and you also got to know what's in the best interest of the clients.
That's why the BDR role is so important too,
Absolutely.
Because you just get that 90, 120 day period to learn from us and these guys who have been in the industry for a year plus, and that's where you really build your base of knowledge, and that prepares you to go, capture those deals on your own, and then, work them and just be the best account executive and loan officer that you can be.
Yeah, I think it's like you said, it's if you know the product back to front, kind of like the back of your hand, when an investor calls you or a broker calls you, they can hear it in the way that you talk about the product. They can feel and understand that confidence, and I think that is what drives people to use you or Park Place in general. Is because they can be on the other side of that call, or maybe it's in person, right, at a conference or wherever we are, and you're selling that product. Having that confidence instilled in that conversation to where the person on the other side of the phone believes that Caleb is going to close that deal and has the utmost confidence in them, I think is what drives them to come to Park Place.
Yeah, absolutely. Could not agree more.
That's a huge piece of it as well, especially because a lot of the business we do is, we're a nationwide lender, right? So a lot of the business we do is over the phone, it's not face-to-face. It's a big money transaction, right, for a lot of people. So confidence in the person that's on the other side of the phone, i.e. ourselves, that is a huge piece to being successful and actually building that book of business. At the end of the day, like, if someone called you to, I don't know, purchase a yacht, you're not going to go with the guy that doesn't know every spec of the yacht, right? You're going to go with the guy that knows every spec of the yacht. He may be a little bit more expensive. So, Caleb, what's it like being a team lead, and what do you really enjoy about that team lead position, and kind of what does it entail?
Being a team lead is great. Getting to work with the junior guys and really focus on their development throughout the course of their BDR ship, which again, it's that 90 to 100-day period, 120-day period where they're really learning the ins and outs of the business. They're going to be prospecting clients. They're going to be building their book of business. So that's a lot of fun. You get to help them develop as salesmen as well, which I think is really a blessing for me. I like having guys that are eager to learn. They're hungry. They're competitive, and it really just helps us operate as a well-oiled machine. And any of the deals that they bring to us, they're getting paid on. So it's just motivating them even more to go out there and get that new business, and knowing that they're going to have me as a team lead and my support team around me to bring those deals to the finish line.
For sure. And what's really your main goal with someone that may come in to that position? What's your main goal with them, and why is that? Yeah,
so my main goal would just be to teach them the guidelines so they can learn it like the back of their hand, but also help them develop as a professional. Mm-hmm. Because at the end of the day, if I can train a new guy new guy or girl to be the best professional they can be, that's going to translate to more business for Park Place and for my team. Mm-hmm. So I think the biggest piece there, or the biggest two pieces there, are focusing on their knowledge and their development as a professional or as a salesman. Mm-hmm. So.
Awesome.
So for all of our viewers out there, I also wanted to mention, if you check out parkplacefinance.com or our LinkedIn, we are actively growing quickly, and so we've got all sorts of positions open on both the operations side of the business and sales, and we'd love for you to join. So make sure to check out our website or LinkedIn.
And thanks for joining us for episode 7, and we appreciate you coming on as a special guest today, Caleb Baker.
I appreciate you guys having me. Hopefully you'll give me the courtesy of inviting me back at some point.
And as always, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the Lone Lads podcast. As always, we'll have a new episode out every single week. Follow our social medias, go to our website, go to our LinkedIn, and check us out more. Again, ParkPlaceFinanceUS.com, your nationwide hard money lender. See you, Lone Lads, next week.